Hello, everybody, and let's talk about Diablo Immortal. It seems to be the only thing at the moment that the gaming industry is talking about. And so I thought, let's play the game and try and go in with an open mind. I mean, I have seen what the industry is being crying on about, so I've put that to one side. All right, let's play it. Let's make an unbiased decision on whether this game is any good or not, whether you love it or hate it. My review here is going to try and look at things objectively.
Destroying the world is a curious endeavor. It seems better to use.
So let's talk first of all quickly about Cash Shop. I'm sticking the whole Cash Shop conversation to the end of the video because that is the big boom that I think everybody is crying about. So let's first of all talk about gameplay. Now, let's address one thing about gameplay. There are people, I'm not going to name them, that are comparing this to Path of Exile. Now, let me make one thing clear. On my shelves here, I have the box sets for Diablo 1, Diablo 2, and all their expansions. But I didn't play Diablo 3. Some people might be saying, oh, you lucky person. But instead of playing Diablo 3, I played Path of Exile. So I am a Path of Exile fan. But I also love Diablo 1, Diablo 2. So, chance to jump into Diablo Immortal, great, thumbs up, let's do that. But let's make one thing clear. And I'm not going to put any clips up because they're all over the internet and you can find them. This game is designed, or was designed from the ground up, to be a mobile phone game. It was never designed to go onto PC. It's only due to people booing the developer with his comment of, don't you people have phones, that it ended up coming onto PC. And PC's in beta, I do believe. So I gotta put that in its box and go, right. Path of Exile, for those who don't know, is arguably the current king of this style of game. And not only that, there's like a Path of Exile 2 coming down the road that's going to raise that bar even higher. So trying to put a mobile phone game on the same pedestal as Path of Exile is ludicrous. And I'm not going to go there because no. Let's look at this for what this is. This is for the mobile phone. The fact you can play it on PC is count yourself lucky. Now, I remember mobile phones. The only thing I could do on mobile phones was play Minesweeper and Snake. So this is like another world to me. I'm amazed at how far the technology for mobile phones has come along. This is like a PC in my hand, except for the fact the screen is tiny and my thumbs are too big. So playing this on a mobile phone, it is hell. It is Diablo. It's just like, oh my, this is just, Thankfully, when you play on a mobile phone, there's not too many buttons. But, of course, when you play that on PC, you've got that feeling of, well, there is now only one main skill and, like 4 bonus skills, and it feels very much like a Diablo Light. But it's not a PC game, it's a mobile phone game. So for a mobile phone, this is a complex, in-depth game that's, I can't believe it's on a phone. For a PC game, to try and compare it to Path of Exile, I would laugh it off my machine and just say, go away, you're Diablo Light and you're not a PC game. So that's really difficult to balance when you're playing it, because I am playing it on the PC and it is actually enjoyable, engaging, although it does feel a bit on the light side. But then I remind myself, hang on, this is a mobile phone game. So much so that they haven't even cleared the bits where it says, tap here or wherever rather than click here. And that jolts me back into it. Hang on, this is a mobile phone game, not even intended for the PC port. So I have to admit, I'm impressed with the gameplay for what it is, not what it's not. It's not meant to be a challenge to Path of Exile. It's not even remotely going to be a challenge to Path of Exile. But for a PC game that was never meant to be, it's great fun. I am enjoying it. And I think that people need to, when they're playing it on their PC, take it for what it is and not what it's not. So let's now move to the big one. The big one that is all over the news. The cash shop. With quotes like, it's going to take $100,000 to max out your character. And I've watched people playing it and spending crazy amounts of money trying to get like gems, etc. I've watched Asma Gold playing it and others. Okay, let's address the cash shop. I'm gonna put two other games in my mind while I'm addressing this, and that is going to be Infinity Kingdom and Raid Shadow Legends. So, this is a mobile phone game. It's free, and there's a cash shop. Let's first of all talk about, say, Infinity Kingdom. How predatory and forcing you to spend money is that game? Absolute. It's a PvP game whereby after about 7 to 10 days, if you haven't bought the extra building slot at least, you're now so far behind the curve that you're going to start becoming whale food. And that's just after like a week of playing. Never mind how much money you need to keep spending in that game to try and not become whale food. That is a game for whales to beat each other up. Now we move to Raid Shadow Legends. Now, Raid Shadow Legends is a little bit more like this with regards to the market audience because I would have said 90% or so of the Raid Shadow Legends people, or even more, are there for the PvE, not for the PvP. Now, that means that, okay, do I need to spend money in Raid Shadow Legends to enjoy the PvE? And the answer to that is, well, the PvP part is actually forced on you. If you don't take part in the PvP part, then you can't develop what's called like your haul, and that puts you in an awkward place when trying to take out some of the top level PvE. So you don't need to spend money in Raid Shadow Legends, but it certainly helps to try and get that extra bonus to make yourself competitive. Well, not so much competitive, to make yourself able to do the high-end content. Now, you can do it free to play. I do play Raid Shadow Legends free to play, but when you do it, you need to make sure you're playing every day, because once you get to like Gold Arena, unless you play every day, you're not going to be able to stay there, and you'll quickly get back down, and grinding your way back up is an absolute nightmare. So, let's now talk about Diablo Immortal. Do I have to PvP? And so far, I think the answer is no. I have no reason in this game to play against other players. I can play the content, which is the main storyline, and then like all Diablo games, you then go through like, Hell Mode 1, Hell Mode 2, It gets harder and harder and harder as you go around through the storyline over and over again. It's got 60 levels of main character, and then you go into like a Paragon mode, which is another 600 levels of Paragon. So it's meant for the long-term PvE grind, all the way up through higher and higher difficulties, where at those points, after months of playing, you're then trying to grind out your top level items, like you used to do in Diablo 2. Yeah, in Diablo 2, until you go, through your Hell Nightmare modes and you're playing in them and you're trying to then grind out your last pieces of equipment, you were always swapping out kit. You were always like, well, I can find something better just by going adventuring. And I'll keep that in mind when I'm reviewing Diablo Immortal. It's meant to be a Diablo-esque clone game whereby that's the same mentality when I'm playing it. Is everything I'm getting right now up to level 60 is just vendor trash, really. And then when I'm going through the higher levels, I'm starting to define my equipment. And finally, I'm going to be grinding out those last sort of like top end pieces of kit once I've been playing for several months and I'm pushing into that, Hell 2, wherever it's going to be, my high Paragon levels. So, with that in mind, I'm there looking at it going, do I need to spend money? So far, I do not need to. It is predatory, like all mobile phone games, whereby it's trying to set up situations whereby it's enticing you to spend. So if you're somebody that's young and inexperienced, or if you're somebody that finds it difficult to not put your credit card to one side and just enjoy what you're playing, then mobile phone games in general are going to be something that is going to be dangerous for you to play because they are designed to push that. Oh, hang on, if you just got yourself some of these, you'd be much better. Go to the cash shop and buy some gems or whatever. So I'm playing it free to play and not even looking at my credit card. And do I feel hampered anyway? No. If I went into PvP, what should I expect? I should expect to die to whales. Why wouldn't I? If I'm gonna play a mobile phone game and engage in PvP, I don't know many mobile phone games that aren't a battle of the whales when it comes to PvP. But this is a PvE game. I don't need to battle against anybody. I could just enjoy playing. So that's fine. Now I see people, and we'll talk about Asmongold. So what did I see Asmongold do before he quit? He jumped in, and I was watching him at level 59, grinding out the rifts, spending $25 a time, just rinse repeating rift, next. And he's doing a rift solo, which gives you less reward. He's doing a rift at level 59, which he's not even in his paragons. He's not even in, high hell modes where loot drops increase. He's playing it as a character that hasn't even finished going through the first part of the game on his own solo, and then he's moaning about the drops he's getting. Now, in my mind, you'd be lucky to get any kind of end game drop if you're soloing content at that point in the game. Why are you expecting to get drops that you would have to grind out months down the line because you're throwing $25 at the screen? The fact that you can throw $25 at the screen to give yourself like 3-star key. I got 2-star gems already, but he's got 3-star gems. He hasn't got any 4-star gems yet. And you're there thinking, no wonder you're moaning about it going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And because you're not even playing the game at a level whereby you should be getting that kit. And you're throwing insane amounts of money at it to try and break the curve so that you can get something early, which you're not supposed to get because you're too early. You're not even level 60. And my mind is just, I have to take a step back and just look at that from a point of view of, so you've been playing the game for like a week and you want all of the end game gear so that you can then say, well, I've got everything now, I can give up playing. And to do that, I'm willing to throw, it's arguably what should be $100,000 at the game, as opposed to playing it. And then maybe after you've been playing it for 7 months, not minding throwing in a few dollars if that's what you feel like, because you've got several months worth of gameplay out of it for free. And my mind is just broken the fact that there are people out there that will spend that kind of money. And this is per character, by the way. So you can times that by like what? You want to have one of each different class. So hey, $700,000. Tell you what, if I make a mobile phone game and you're willing to pay me $1 million to have an advantage in PvP, I'm fine. I mean, how crazy a concept of people is that when people are going, "Oh, it's pay to win." Yeah, pay to win if you've got ridiculous amounts of money to spend, but for the ordinary player, they can't pay to win. If I decide, God, I mean, if I was going to buy this, I wouldn't mind. You know, for a PC game, I wouldn't spend more than $9.99 on this. Yeah, you know, $10 sort of thing, $15. If I spent more than that, I'd be like, well, I'd rather play like one of the big boys. So for a budget game, I spent that kind of money. I mean, I wouldn't get anything in this game for $15. I can't even do the Rift with all of the sockets lit up for $15. So I can't see how people are moaning so much that this is pay to win, because the amount you have to pay to win is beyond what most people would spend. Yes, there are some crackers out there that go, "Oh, I don't mind throwing, you know, $50,000 at this game, get myself ahead of the curve, so if anybody comes to PvP me, I can wail all over them." Ugh. Crazy. So, as you can tell, I'm not going to be one of these people who are going to stand here and yell at the world saying this game is horrific. I'm also not going to be one of those people that sit here and say, this game is terrible, it can't compete versus Path of Exile. Because both of those comments are just, the person that's playing needs to stop playing, take a deep breath, and look at what they're playing. You're playing a mobile phone game that you don't have to PvP. You don't need to spend any money. It's a game that's meant to last for months, not for a week. What is wrong with what you're getting if this is on a mobile phone? It's light on a PC, but for a mobile phone, this is excellent. I hate to say that word, but it is. On a PC, it's, yeah, put it down in the, say, the $15 range. $10, $15 range. And it's fine. Just got a predatory cash shop you have to ignore and lock up your credit card, because it's not going to help you. It really isn't. Play the game. And then after you've been playing it for, 100 hours, couple of 100 hours, and you feel like going, do you know what? I've got my playtime out of this. I don't mind spending $15, $20 because I've got a lot of playtime out of this. Then do so. But yeah, don't go spending $25 in your first few days and then moan you're not getting 5-star gems that it should take you months to get, because you're not even like level 60 yet. I mean, come on, be real. So there's my point of view on Diablo Immortal. I've played it now. I've had a look at it. I've studied it for what it is, not what it's not. And yeah, it's all right. As I said, take into view the things I've said. If you think this game is something for you and you want to have a play about with, do so. If you're a PC gamer and you're waiting for Path of Exile 2 to come along, do that. This is not going to be a substitute. Just an entertaining filler. Right, that's it. That's me. I'm out. I'll see you all for another video. Bye now.
You must leave.